Welcome back to Orlando Out of Context. This is Brian.
I'm Stephanie.
And welcome back, Crystal.
Hey, girl.
Follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context. Visit us at orlandooutofcontext.com and listen and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. So welcome to episode 25.
We're back with Crystal. Keeping up with Crystal.
We're caught up with Crystal.
Not like the Kardashians, but keeping with the seat, right? Yeah? No?
Yeah. I'm cooler
Caught
than the
up.
Kardashians.
Caught up is what it is.
Caught up
With
not
the seat.
keeping.
So, we had her in a prior episode talking some Disney stuff, and she's been doing a lot of traveling for work to some really cool places that we want to hear all about. And we're also going to talk about some Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Because we all like to be geeks about Disney.
So this is the lineup. Let me go through the lineup real quick so you guys know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Crystal's trip to Washington, D.C., where she saw the ruby slippers.
Yes.
That's awesome. We're going to talk about Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, which is going on hiatus or possibly just closing down. We'll talk about that.
Mickey's Backyard Barbecue.
I love Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. Then we're going to talk about Disney holiday meals. So if you're here at Disney during the holidays and you think you're going to miss out on your favorite holiday meal, you have a chance to have that holiday meal because they do special things at the Disney restaurants. We're going to talk about Gotham City Pizza, which is in Daytona Beach. We're going to talk about Barrel Night, which is something Crystal won tickets to because she's always winning. Because she's a winner.
All I do is win, win, win.
And then we're going to talk about hot chocolate flights. Where can you get hot chocolate flights in Orlando? We're going to tell you about where you can get them. We're going to talk about Tivoli, which is a amusement park. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a theme park.
In Denmark, which was part of Walt's inspiration for Disneyland. And then we'll talk. You have an interesting story about your visit in Sweden, don't you? So it's about a creepy guy / situation. A stalker in Sweden. So stay tuned all the way to the end for that. So let's get started. So tell us about, were you in Washington, D.C. for work?
No, that one was like our vacation for the year.
Okay.
We've been doing work. My boyfriend and I have been doing work trips, weddings. It's all been obligation. So we decided to go to DC. Not that they were bad obligations. So we decided to go to DC as like our little getaway. We love our family. However, we wanted a holiday to ourselves. We went during Thanksgiving. So we spent...
Was this your first time to DC?
Yeah, first time.
I've never been to DC.
It's so big. You could literally spend like probably 4 weeks there and still not get everything done.
Oh my God, it was exhausting.
I kind of want to go. I've been wanting to go.
And the National Mall, which is like where all the stuff is not small. No. Everyone thinks like, oh yeah, you can walk.
Because I was looking at the map recently because I was thinking maybe I'll do a trip there maybe in January. And I was looking at the map and I was like, oh, everything looks really close to each other.
No. And the traffic is crazy there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's bigger than it seems.
You can do like the little Lime scooters or Bird scooters. They also have Lyft scooters.
Scooters?
Yeah, Lyft scooters. Oh. They have Lyft bikes as well.
Cool.
And you can literally just pull up an app, find the GPS location for the scooter. People leave them.
That's how it was in Paris. Like Paris had electronic scooters.
Just
like a Vespa?
Just laying around.
Yeah, that's how it is in DC.
They're just laying around and you just go, you can get an app. And I think it's Lime.
Lime is the one that I had heard about before I went there. They're pretty popular on social media. But yeah, like just leaning up like against a mailbox, you would find a scooter.
And you could just get the app and then associate that scooter with the app and then just...
And then pay for it on your app and then you go.
That's cool.
I don't even think it was like cents per minute is how much it cost you.
So it's affordable.
Yeah. It's not bad.
So did you use it several times while you were in DC?
No, we did not use it. Sadly.
Why not?
We could never find two together. So
Listen, just hop on your boyfriend's back.
No, you know
we
how
saw
like you
people doing that.
in the movies, you'll see them like the boy will be pedaling the bike and the girl sits on the
Yeah.
We saw a ton of people doing that. So we never did it. We did Uber.
What's your
Uber was
boyfriend's name?
expensive. Josh.
Josh, would he come on the podcast ever?
Totally. He would.
Okay, we
Yeah.
need to have him. We should have had him tonight.
He nerds out. He likes nerdy stuff just like me. So.
Okay, we should have had him on tonight. That would have been fun. Well,
Avi, since you guys do so many fun things together.
sometime we'll have Josh on. He has like an epic beard.
Yes.
Like
He looks like a
epic.
hipster.
It's really awkward though because we're out in public. We're at Panda Express one day, and this guy walks up and he's like, "Hey man, I would like to personally thank you for growing that beard." And I'm like, "Hello, girlfriend, right here. Thank you."
So was he like being hit on by the guy?
Yeah.
Basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
It felt like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But his beard's really pretty, so
His
I get
beard
it.
is like a masterpiece.
Beards are trendy, you know.
It's trendy, but it's like.
But not
it's-
every man can grow a very nice one.
And Josh's looks healthy.
Yes, he takes very good care of it.
Does he use combs and beard oil?
Combs, beard oil, he blow dries it daily.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. We'll have to have Josh on so he could talk about the
His
art,
beard
the
tips.
the art of his beard. Oh my gosh! So tell us some of the places like museums and stuff that you went to.
Oh gosh, we did so much. We did 2 Smithsonian museums.
Mm-hmm.
We did the American history
Right.
and the natural history.
See, now I didn't realize that there was multiple Smithsonians. I
There's
thought
like-
there was just one big
I
Smithsonian.
think there might be like 100 in DC. I'm over exaggerating. I think there might be like 15.
There's a lot.
Okay. So, how did it relate? Like, how was... Because I had my own experiences in Europe, and we'll talk about your experiences in Europe, but, like, I went to the Louvre in Paris, and, like, it was just so well organized. Where the museum... And, like, I felt like it was almost like a Disney experience. It was so organized and well done. How are the museums in DC? As far as like crowd control, as far as like the operation and being clean and just
I would say it's about the same. Everything was super clean. It's very well laid out. It wasn't super busy when we were there. I mean, there's tons of people. It is kind of weird to get used to. You have to walk through a metal detector in every single building that you go to in DC. But I loved them. I thought they were great. I liked the American History Museum better than the Natural.
Okay.
Natural is the one where you always see like the mammoth, like, you know, in the movies. That's the one they always put in there. They have mummies and stuff like that.
Sure.
American History was really cool because they had the red ruby slippers.
That's cool.
From
And these were
Wizard
the
of Oz.
original, like the legitimate ones
There's probably
from the movie.
maybe there's multiple.
There's
pairs?
5 pairs.
Okay.
So this is one of the 5 pairs. Another pair was actually stolen at one point. It was in Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, don't you know?
Okay, so it was one of the pairs that they used for filming.
Yeah, so that was really cool. They have a whole section room dedicated just to that. They had a couple other things like Glinda's like staff
Wand or
wand
something.
thing. I don't know. Something with the scarecrow. A hat was in there as well.
Cool.
But it was all centered around the shoes. They also had the original Star Spangled Banner flag on full display, which I thought was going to be small, like the size of like a large picture. It is huge. It's in a huge display case. It's in like a light and air control,
Right.
whatever, to keep it preserved.
You said the original flag?
Yes, so it's the song that inspired the flag that inspired Star Spangled Banner. So it's not there's the flag with the round stars. It's not that one. But it's still not like
Because
all of the
the
stars.
original flag didn't have as many stars on it, right? Because there
Yes.
weren't 50 states then.
Correct. So they have it in a huge display case, and they talk about like the history of the flag and the song and who made the flag, and so that was really
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Did you
I
see
like
Donald Trump while you were there?
No, I did go to the Trump Tower, or I walked past it,
Uh-huh.
and I was pleasantly surprised to see there was no like graffiti or anything. Because when you go to Hollywood, like his star is completely smashed up. So I was like, no one's done anything here.
No picketers outside.
There were outside of the White House.
Oh, wow.
There was a protester holding like a dummy like head.
I wonder if like no matter what president is in the White House,
feel
if
like
there's
people are
always
always
protesting.
hating.
So there was actually like a tent set up outside of the White House. They've been there for like 35 years or something ridiculous. They rotate people. Someone's always there. So the protest has been going on. It's the longest protest ever
What is it
recorded
about?
in history. I think nuclear weapons
Okay.
is what they were preaching about.
Okay.
I think.
I want to go to DC. Like, that's definitely on the list.
The White House was really underwhelming. Like, we walked up and
It's
we were
very
like...
small.
It's kind of like when... No offense, Disneyland, but when you walk into
Everyone's
Disneyland...
gotta hate on the Disneyland
I
castle.
know, but you walk in, you're like, where's... That's the castle?
it?
That's it?
Way down there?
That's how I felt with the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because you go see, like, the Capitol building and Library of Congress, which were gorgeous.
There's so many
I was
more
gonna say,
beautiful buildings.
I saw the picture of the Library of Congress, and I really want to go there, and
Oh my
it looked
God.
beautiful.
We went and got, pro tip. We went and got...
We love pro tips.
Listen, we went and got library cards. They're free, so you can be a
What?
card-carrying member of the
That's
Library of
so
Congress, and then you
cool.
can get into more areas to go into, like, the reading rooms. Took about 10 minutes. They print it
Pro
right there.
tip. Ding,
Free
ding,
little,
ding, ding.
free little souvenir.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I want to go.
little knowledge.
Do you have to
bomb.
be a U.S. citizen to get a card?
That I don't know.
What did you have to present to them?
Just an ID. I don't remember them saying that it had to be like a U.S. ID,
I bet you it does.
I bet
you
it
it has
does
to be
too.
a U.S. ID.
but I just had to show them my driver's license.
They're
That's
probably gathering your
cool.
information and microchipping you at the
That's
same
fine.
time.
But now I have access
I mean,
to.
we
I
have.
can-
I have an Alexa. They're listening right now.
They are. But you can go online too. I can.
They're listening to the damn podcast. Well, actually, I don't know really how many people are listening to the podcast.
Now I can go on and like rent from the Library of Congress because they're in the middle of like
That's really cool.
putting all their info digital. They said
So
they
you
go,
can,
like,
yeah, you can go on their
Yeah.
website and stuff
and get their
Okay.
stuff. Yeah,
But what's on there?
I don't know.
Lots of stuff because I've done some like design work stuff, and they have some like pictures that you can go in and grab that are don't have a copyright on them, and you can go and like use them if you want to. So it's really cool. Like they're digitalizing a lot of things and putting them on.
They're trying. They
website.
said that they're not even at like 5% now because they get donations every single day. Like 10,000 items a day are donated. It's a largest library in the world. So they can't
Catalog
scan
everything.
it in
Yeah.
as fast as they're getting it in. So,
So
cool.
who's donating and what are they donating? Just like
Like-
random books or actually like valuable books?
it's not just books that they have in the
pictures,
collection. Artwork.
artwork,
Yeah.
just anything and everything.
Like they had a copy of the Declaration of Independence that only had John Hancock's signature on it. It was the original, so it was the one that was like printed and distributed out, and John Hancock was like, wait, like I'm the only signature, I'm the only one gonna get beheaded with treason, so then everybody else signed afterwards.
Gotcha.
But they have that on display too, so important documents and
Like I'm gonna just put the podcast on a
my
USB
God, you
drive
should.
and I'll just mail it in, and then they can catalog.
like you can
Catalog
bring
it.
a book and donate it if you want to.
That would be cool.
Oh wow.
She's so underwhelmed. You like to learn.
I do.
Why
like
are you
to,
not?
I don't know. I'm just.
I just think it's really cool.
I
I've
get
always wanted to-
overwhelmed when there's too much to look through.
You shut down.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's
organized
just like-
very well.
Too many.
It's not like whenever we're talking about how much there is, like it almost sounds like you're gonna walk in and like books are gonna be falling out at you. When you walk in, you don't even see books at first. Like they talk about all the artwork and it's beautiful.
I just imagine like when the Beast opens up the room to Belle and he's like, "It's all yours," and it's like books from floor to ceiling.
Yes, there is one room that kind of looks like that. Yeah.
So, what about your? I know you probably went to multiple dining locations in DC, and because this is Orlando podcast, we're not going to talk all about Washington DC food. But what was your like top place that you went to? Because I know you posted a few things from DC. What was your number one?
Probably Ted's Bulletin.
Okay.
They have homemade Pop-Tarts.
Oh,
We actually ate there twice. We ate there for breakfast and
Okay.
dinner.
You know I love a Pop-Tart.
They had a s'mores Pop-Tart.
So I'm not impressed with Toy Story Land's
Did you have the
Pop-Tart.
Pop-Tarts at Toy
I
Story?
haven't had it yet. I
But
need to
Steph
go.
likes it. I
I
don't.
liked
Really, I think it tastes like a Pop-Tart.
This week I'll go grab one. I'm going this week.
But I would be interested to taste the one from the place you just
It
recommended.
was delicious.
So what was your preference on that? Did you like the breakfast better or the dinner better?
Breakfast. Breakfast was more unique. Dinner was... I was surprised to find how much Southern food there was all over the whole city. But I think I had shrimp and grits for dinner. I think my boyfriend had a burger. But it was all like Southern food.
Where did you guys stay?
Kimpton George Hotel. It's like a boutique hotel.
I think I've seen it.
We love
in
boutique
advertisements.
hotels.
Yeah, it was really cute, and it wasn't that bad, like pricing wise.
Cool.
We used all of our like Sky Mile and credit card points that we had built up, so we only paid like $80 out of pocket for the whole trip.
Nice.
Yeah, pro
Very
tip:
nice.
Sky Miles.
Okay, so let's move on. Bring it back closer to home. So Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, we were setting up and what we were going to talk about in the podcast, and you mentioned that Mickey's Backyard Barbecue is going to be shutting down.
So that's what I heard. My dad was the one that told me about it.
What's up, David?
Hey.
So he was like, "Oh my gosh, we have to make a reservation. So we're going to eat on Friday coming up."
And is this your first?
This is my first time.
So I've been to
going.
Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. This is the first. I have a story, and Stephanie's already laughing.
Oh my god.
And Stephanie didn't even go with me. So
gosh.
Mickey's Backyard Barbecue is the first time that I ever got really, really drunk.
I thought you were going to say sick, and I was about to be really sad. So
Literally our whole friendship, he would like never drink with me ever. Like we'd go out, we'd party,
because
and he
I
would
was
be
always
the sober asshole that yelled at me for having a fun time.
And I had to stand up for myself because I had to take care of everyone, which I did, and I always got them back safely home. And I was a designated driver. So hello, who else was going to take care of you?
First of all, he goes out without me and gets
Okay.
drunk without me, and then he had made. We had plans the next day that he didn't. You just tell your
I'll
story.
tell the story. So, Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. It's good. I think it's good. I think I know why they're closing it, and we'll talk about that after I tell my experience. So, where do I start? Okay, so we went to Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. Basically what it is that you have a stage, and then you have like these picnic tables / tables that are kind of like almost like a beer garden,
Yeah.
like Oktoberfest feel. And then you have the stage, and Mickey comes out, Minnie comes out, I think Donald might come out, a few of the characters come out, and it's just like a kind of a hoedown show. It's cute. I don't really remember much of it, honestly. But they have a buffet style meal, but they also have an open bar. Like, you can just walk up.
like this is included with
correct.
the ticket. Oh man.
Yes.
So you better get prepped.
lit.
Yes. So they have an open bar, and so the waiter or waitress doesn't serve you. At the time that I went, the waiter or waitress didn't bring you your drinks. You just went up to the open bar. Okay. So there's not really like control happening there. Like, and I was drinking, the wine's cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So I made the mistake of drinking the wine. And so that's what I got drunk off of.
Nice.
Which equaled a bad hangover.
Which equaled a bad hangover the next morning.
Oh god.
And well, I went from there, and then we went to Sun on the Beach at Old Town, and I continued to drink there, and there was a drag show there. And we continued to drink there, and then the next morning I had a really bad hangover.
And we had tickets to go to see Hanson in St. Petersburg.
I was being a supportive friend once again. I was being a supportive friend.
So I called Brian up. I was like, okay, I'm on my way to your house to pick you up.
And I'm like,
I can't go.
Okay, pause. So you go see Hanson every time they come to Epcot then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single time,
Yes.
all 3 days, all 3 shows, I'm there.
yeah, if you want to stalk Stephanie, that's where you're going to find her.
I met them one of the times they were there.
Really?
Why? How? Because you worked there?
I worked at the American Pavilion, and they had the Hops beer
Oh,
for sale
yeah.
at my location. So they were doing a photo shoot with their
Cool.
Hops. So I got to meet them, and I was like, oh my god, I saw you in concert when I was like 8. And they were like, thanks for making us feel old. You're
I'm sure they get that a lot, though.
But Steph's met Hanson several times. Many times.
I've gone on fan trips and
They're
fan
so
club
awesome.
events. I love them.
Yeah,
I've
they're
dined
awesome.
with them before. because we were saying club. I was saying club concierge the same time they were here saying club concierge, and they were very nice.
They are nice.
I didn't talk to them, just in passing. They were very nice.
Aww.
So, and they kept control of their children pretty well too.
Well,
So
many. I don't know how they do it.
But anyway, so
back to Mickey's.
but I was a supportive friend, and she didn't come pick me up because I was like, I'm not gonna make it. So she went ahead without me, and then I was feeling better. An hour or so later, and I rented a car and drove to St. Pete because at the time I wasn't living here. I was just visiting, so I rented a car and drove out to St. Pete to make.
And he made it just in time for the concert.
Well, yeah, we had
sweet.
dinner beforehand and then went. But anyways, I was very supportive.
That's
Because I felt bad. Because that was the first time that I ever was like, oh, hangover. Never had I had a hangover before. Anyway, so that's my experience with Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. But I recommend it. I've only been that one time, but it was a good experience.
I don't know
much
why
do you
we've
think
never
it is?
gone. I mean, I'm excited. It's like barbecue food. It's characters. It's a show.
Yeah, it's fun.
Apparently open bar. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let me know how that open bar goes. Like if it's still open bar. But
So,
yeah, you could just literally walk up as many times you wanted and get whatever you wanted.
I'm about that life.
So why do you think they're closing?
So I think that they're closing because they have announced the new resort that's over in that area.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's taking up any of the space where Mickey's Backyard Barbecue. So they're opening a new deluxe resort between Fort Wilderness and the Wilderness Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the name of it, but it's going to be, the theme is kind of like nature. But it looks like an upscale, like the renderings looks kind of like upscale, like a little bit more modern than Wilderness Lodge.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then there's going to be, of course, DVC attached to it as well.
So I saw 2 articles. One said that it was for sure closing. Another one said they're talking about relocating it.
Right.
So I don't know which one's true. It's just what I read off the blogs.
I would have to, and I don't think Mickey's Backyard Barbecue ran all year long. Or runs all year long. I believe it was seasonal. At least it used to be, I believe. But anyway.
That doesn't sound like something I'd want to do in the heat of summer.
I did see the last showing, or, dinner reservation is the last day of the month.
Of December.
Okay.
I'm guessing that they're closing. My only guess.
So if you want to experience that, make sure you go ahead and get your reservations. So
If there's any left.
Yeah, if there's any left.
So are we moving along? You ready to move topics?
I was.
Jeez.
That's what I learned in new school. How to make a proper transition.
All right.
On to holiday meals.
So
More Disney food.
So speaking of food, let's talk a little bit about holiday meals. So some of the restaurants on Disney property, when you're here, when you make a reservation and you show up on a holiday, actually have, like for Thanksgiving, they'll have the Thanksgiving feast, or like the Christmas meal. So you have a reservation, or
I had one.
You had one at Tusker House, right?
Yeah, I did. We actually flew back from DC on Thanksgiving Day, and then we went to Disney and and we ate at Tusker House. I looked up, I think I did, Disney Food Blog has a whole list of all the restaurants that do holiday meals. So that's kind of nice. So I had done Liberty Tree Tavern. Is that what it's called? Over Magic Kingdom?
Yeah.
I've done that one before for Thanksgiving.
Which is kind of like, that one is like Thanksgiving food almost year round.
Yeah. Which is really nice if you want the full Thanksgiving family style meal. This one's a buffet, so not only did they have the normal Tusker House food, which is more African/Indian type of food, they have all that there, but then they also did yams and turkey and stuffing and stuff like that. So it was kind of nice. It was a nice little meal. I've done a few like holiday meals before at the parks. Christmas is better, I think, than Thanksgiving.
Really?
Oh yeah, like you're gonna go to the diner over in Hollywood Studios, Minnie's Christmas buffet.
The Hollywood and Vine.
No, not Hollywood. Is it Hollywood and Vine?
Yeah, I think it's Hollywood and Vine.
Yeah, Hollywood and Vine.
It's a
Yeah, you're
buffet.
right. Yeah. So I like all of their Christmas buffets.
I did Christmas at Wilderness Lodge one year.
Ooh, I bet that would be fun.
It was really nice.
Did you do it at the
Whispering
restaurant
Canyon?
there?
Yeah, Whispering Canyon.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And you said you did Christmas? What kind of different things do they serve?
I I feel like the same food they have there was the same. Because they have, like, you know, the roast beef, the turkey. It's kind of like that all year.
It fits in.
But it's just nice to be there because
tree in the lobby.
The tree. When I went, they sat us by the fireplace. Aww. It was really nice.
Yeah.
We were in the park last week, and what was that new place that's now open?
Which park?
In Frontierland. It's right by Liberty Tree. And you said, "Oh, look, it's open all year round now."
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It used to be seasonal.
They used it for like the Villains Ball during the holidays.
Golden Horseshoe.
Yes.
Which,
they had like holiday type.
Yes,
food.
I remember in the past. Yeah, they would open that up during the holidays
just to alleviate
as like
some
an
of
extra restaurant,
yes.
just to relieve some of the stress on the restaurants. And they now are open full time.
And that's really nice in there too. It's really beautiful.
And I'm guessing they have a family
nice.
style, so I'm guessing they do something for the holidays in there as well.
I heard Trails End is another really good one.
So Trails End, I think, is one of the best kept secrets on Disney property. Because the price of your buffet there is much cheaper than you'll find elsewhere at a Disney buffet. You get similar to food to what you get at Hoop-Dee-Doo.
Yes.
Which I
think it's the same food.
I think it's the same kitchen.
For a third of the price.
And you know what? Somewhere I read that they have a chef there that does really good vegan meals. So if you are a vegan, I guess, I don't know the chef's name, but it's a chef that's normally there, does really good vegan meals. So because most of that's meat heavy at Trails End. So if you're afraid that, it's meat heavy, and that goes for all Disney restaurants. If you have an allergy or something,
a dietary
restriction, exactly, or if you're vegan or whatever, you can ask to speak to the chef, and the chef will come out, and sometimes they'll prepare something special for you if they don't have an option on the menu.
You could probably do a whole episode on...
Probably.
Because there's so many great options.
I've heard that you can call ahead of time, so if you know that you booked a vacation from XYZ day, you can tell them ahead of time and make all your plans.
And I think now on the Disney reservations, on My Disney Experience, you can notate if you have an allergy on your dining reservation. Yeah. So anyway, it's just nice to be able to have those options and partake in those restaurants. But yeah, definitely if you are coming to Disney during the holidays, the dining options within the restaurants change a little bit for the holiday. It's just a nice really touch that they do. So tell us about your trip to Daytona and Gotham City Pizza.
More food.
Food.
So we had to go to Daytona. Oh my gosh, what were we doing?
Another obligation.
You had the pleasure. You had the pleasure of going.
Okay. For my boyfriend, he enjoyed it. We went for a car show.
Oh, okay.
Car
that's
show.
Cool.
So we went to a car show, and I hate car shows. So he said, "Well, pick where you want to go eat." Since you're
that was your treat.
That was my treat.
For being a good girl.
He knows the way to my heart. Food. So I picked Gotham City Pizza. It's all nerdy themed. Gotham City.
I think I saw some of the pictures on your Instagram of the paintings on the walls.
Yeah, they had like the little like bubbles, that are in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
So they had those all over the walls. They had Poison Ivy, I think, was walking around. Harley Quinn, maybe.
Wait, they had people
like
dressed up, walking
around
at
the pizza restaurant.
Like,
were they acting as waiters and waitresses,
no,
or was
they
it
had
just
separate? Yeah, they were just there for walking around, entertaining the guests.
Wow,
taking photos.
Cool. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Were they like acting? Like, were they acting like the part of the character?
No,
okay.
not really. Like she sat down and like talked to us about like. Like why'd you drive all the way from Orlando to come eat pizza?
Gotcha. So they weren't like in character; they were just dressed as the characters.
Yeah, just dressed up for the kids to take pictures with and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool. Apparently, the same people also own a comic book store. It's called like Gotham City Comics or something. The pizza wasn't my favorite pizza in the whole world, but it was really unique. So they had the Joker pizza, I think is what I ordered. French fries were on my pizza.
What?
Yes.
My two favorite things in life, married? French fries and pizza.
Yeah, I had French fries on the pizza, so it was called the Joker pizza. It was really cheap. I mean, especially coming from Orlando, everything's expensive here, I feel like. It was pretty cheap prices. Service was good. I liked it. It was cute. I wouldn't go just for Gotham City, but if you were in Daytona, I would totally make it the place you go eat.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Very cool. It's always good to hear about other places and day trips. So if you're going for a day trip to Daytona, make it a stop. Cool.
And it's perfect for the kids. It's a really kid-friendly place.
Nice.
Just mark that off of my list right now. Put me down for no.
Okay, so you won again. And you've continued your winning streak. So tell us about what you won recently.
So recently I won tickets from Orlando Food Spots. Go look up their Instagram because they have some good foodie stuff. And they partnered with Orlando Sentinel to give away tickets to Barrel Night. So, Barrel Night. It was very fancy. It was at the Bohemian Hotel.
The Grand Bohemian downtown.
So very fancy. We got to dress up and, God, there was so much alcohol. So
for free?
Yeah, well, I mean, like
she won.
I won the tickets. I think the pair of tickets were $100 normally. So we won them. We went and they have
Josh
all these
went with
different.
You?
He went with me.
Well, I'm sure he's happy for your winning.
He's always the one that gets to come with me.
He had to take care of you, though, I'm guessing.
Yeah. We thought about Ubering home that night.
Where's that music coming from?
I still listen to the same thing. It's gone now.
It's weird. Right?
That's really creepy. I don't know.
But you heard it?
Yeah, I heard it too. That's why I stopped.
We're hearing it in here.
So you can actually hear it through it? That's weird.
It's really weird because I think that mic is picking it up, but I don't know where. But Crystal's hearing it with her
bare ears.
It's very light though.
It's weird. Okay.
So
the ghost from Garden Theater is here.
Is following you. A ghost will follow you home. Anyway, so
what was the premise of Barrel Night?
They had all different kinds of alcohol vendors there. So like.
Are you hearing?
I hear it again.
It might be louder. It might be the hotel. They might be playing a movie.
Oh, okay.
But how would it pick it up?
But I can hear it on my own. We're just going to have lovely background music.
Now I can't hear it.
I know. It's when we start talking, I feel like I hear it again. We just have background music.
Okay, so they have different vendors.
Different vendors. So
they're giving out free samples?
Like Tito's?
Free samples. You can
Jack
get
Daniels?
as much as you want. Jack Daniels.
Tito's?
I don't know.
Tito's vodka?
I'm not.
Two
like
vendors in, she lost count.
I don't know
she
names
doesn't
of any of
remember.
these. I did find one that I love. I wish I would have brought the card to tell you about it, but it was like a smoky bourbon, and it was so good.
Remember, she got alcohol before from the guy she met in the airplane.
I did, yeah. So
now every time I see a giveaway online, I always tag Crystal.
You do. Yeah. She always tags me. So we had tons of samples. There was free food there too.
Okay.
So we had dinner there.
So were the other people there? Were they like vendors and like other hotels that were maybe going to be purchasing?
No, it was all the vendors giving out alcohol to all the guests. So it was all people that bought the ticket, like normal people, I guess, bought the tickets to be able to sample different kinds.
Normal people who don't win things.
Normal people that don't win things. Hair flip.
I was just wondering if it was like companies trying to peddle their alcohol to different businesses in Orlando. You know what I mean? Like,
no, just like to
wanting them to carry my alcohol, carry my brand. Or
no,
whatever,
just like,
maybe.
hey, like here's a bourbon, go buy it at Publix.
Okay.
You can buy this there.
Cool.
So we got to sample all different kinds of. One group had pineapple juice to mix with their tequila. I like them the best.
That sounds like an awesome giveaway winning.
So I was lit by the end of the night. Like I felt great. I was like, I'm so glad you're driving, baby. Oh, and then I think we went to Joysticks after that and continued.
Man, everyone keeps talking about joysticks.
You haven't been yet? I think we talked about it on the last one, too.
We might have, but we talked about it on the last episode, I think, because Ron went there right after he went
You gotta go.
Have you been to Frosty's?
I was literally about to say you have to go there and Frosty's. Those are like my 2 favorite bars. I went to another like hole in the wall. Oh my god, what is it called?
Have you been to this Sideshow? It's a carnival themed bar.
I haven't been to Sideshow, but the one that I'm thinking of right now feels like that too, like carnival themed, but it's little, like 20 people and it will be full. But they sell moonshine there. They had PB&J moonshine.
Oh,
it was so good.
Wow.
I'll have to look up the name.
Like peanut butter and jelly?
Yeah, peanut butter and jelly
and it tasted
moonshine.
like it?
Yeah, they had apple pie moonshine too.
What?
Yeah, the bartender had like a big top hat and like really long black hair. I'm pretty sure he was a vampire. Yeah.
Was it downstairs? Was it?
It was downstairs on the lower level.
I think I know what you're talking. Because I think that when Lizette and I were together, when you had to leave,
when I had to exit stage
downtown,
right.
she pointed at a bar that was downstairs, and she mentioned it was popular, and then it was really good. I forget the name of it. Crystal's looking it up right now.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh my gosh. I can't find it. I thought I posted about it. All the artwork is like prohibitions to, like back in that time.
Is it like a speakeasy?
It's not a speakeasy, but they have like what was considered pornography at the time, which isn't even naked women. Like they have stuff like over their boobs, you know?
Right.
They have a cloth over their boobs, but that was like illegal
very risque.
and very risque back then. So that's what's all on the walls. And the main photo in the building is like a carnival clown lady with balloons that look like boobs in front of her boobs.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to, when I find the name.
Boobs
I'm
in front of her
gonna
boobs.
link it below when I find the name.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now let's go back to Disney because I had mentioned hot chocolate flights, and Stephanie and I weren't aware of hot chocolate flights, but apparently
Crystal mentioned them, and we didn't know anything about them.
Did I? What did I say?
You said you mentioned them.
No. Oh, Crystal mentioned. I'm sorry. Crystal mentioned them, and Stephanie and I had never heard of it before. But there are hot chocolate flights. Where?
Hollywood Studios during the holidays.
Where is it?
Hell, I was at Magic Kingdom and I couldn't even get one cup of hot chocolate the other day.
You know the place that sells the ice cream right in front of the tower? Left-hand side whenever you're walking towards the tower?
Yes.
Right there. That's where they sell the flights.
Nice.
I can't
So
remember
what
what it's called.
what are the choices here? Is there alcohol involved? Or?
All of them have alcohol. I mean, you can get a non-alcoholic one, but like, why would you want to do that? Last
All right,
year,
Crystal.
alcohol, more alcohol, more alcohol. That's what this theme is going.
So what was the flavors? Do you recall?
Last year is different from this year, but last year they had a salted caramel one. Oh my damn, they were so good.
Hot damn. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what this year's flavors
We have
are.
marshmallows and chips.
That's
We're
the one
looking
I
at a
want.
picture. But yeah, they have 3 different flavors in this flight at we're looking at disneyfoodblog.com and their article on the different things for the holidays, and they have a picture of the hot chocolate flight at Hollywood Studios, but they don't have a description of what they are. Click on it.
We have to
Oh,
go
never
partake
mind.
in this.
But yeah, we're gonna have to try this out. That's awesome.
They were delicious. Salted caramel. I don't know if they have it again this year, but last year it was amazing.
Yeah, so definitely go try out the hot
I'm just
chocolate
waiting
flight.
for it to get cold again. Like when
It's
is
gonna
it?
be
I
cold
just-
tomorrow.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
this
real.
week. This week is when you need to go.
It's gonna be really cold tomorrow.
Really?
I think the low is
It's hot
42.
today.
The high is like 61.
Yeah, it's gonna be cold tomorrow.
Yeah, and then the rest of this week,
We'll
I think
see.
the high is in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
I
this
mean,
is the week.
it's Florida, so we'll always see. But tomorrow definitely is supposed to be cool. Even when I came out of work today,
It was kind of cool.
It was cooler than it was this morning, for sure. Okay, so let's talk about Tivoli.
I'm excited to hear about this.
It was...
I was like freaking out when I saw your pictures. And it was all like Halloween.
So let me set this up really quick before we get into the details. So I think you mentioned in the last episode you were here. We got to figure out which episode. Can you look and see what episode Crystal...
My phone on me.
Oh,
I think
geez.
it was 16.
Let's see.
Don't quote me.
Because we got to tell people to go back and listen to the first episode that you were on.
Episode 16.
Hey!
So in episode 16, we had talked about that you were going to be going to Tivoli.
We did.
Tivoli.
Tivoli?
However you say it. Anyway, so time has now passed, as time does, and so you have gone. So for those who don't know, Tivoli is an amusement park really, gardens that is in Denmark, and Walt Disney traveled there
multiple times,
and he got inspiration from there to create, and he was inspired by it to create Disneyland. So that's kind of where it fits into Disney history. I have known about it for years, probably since I was a teenager, really, and knew that it wasn't. He drew inspiration from there. So I've personally wanted to go. Haven't had the opportunity yet, but you have had this year the opportunity to go. So we've seen kind of your pictures. What was it like? Tell us about it.
It feels very much like Epcot. There's all the different areas that are themed after the different countries. So they have like China and India and Russia. So it feels very much like you're walking through Epcot when you're there. I was actually there for Halloween, so they had all the Halloween decor up, which is new to Denmark.
Okay.
They've only been celebrating Halloween for a couple years now. So Tivoli is actually one of the few places where you'll find Halloween decorations in the whole country.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. They did a haunted house.
Because it was, from your pictures, it was like good Halloween decorations.
Yeah, they did a really great job. The haunted house reminded me of the Haunted Mansion, like very much so. They pulled a lot of inspiration. Their costumes reminded me a lot of it. They did a really good job.
Was it a walk-through house?
It was a walk-through house.
So was it family friendly, the haunted house?
It was family friendly. I didn't think it was that scary. Okay. I laughed the whole time. My two coworkers went with me, and they had never done a haunted house before. It was their first time.
Okay.
So they screamed around every corner. My boss actually was one of the people with me, and she was pulling on my backpack the whole time. Like, don't go. I can't. I want to get out. I have to get the F out of here, she kept saying.
She better not go to Screamageddon then.
I know. So that was really cool seeing them do Halloween. They did a really good job. But it was so cool. The restaurants are very themed. The country is just like here at Epcot is. So
was it like a full day or
I went 2 nights.
2 nights.
It's really cheap to go. I think it was like $15 American, which is like $118.
That's kind of crazy for a park that's
Danish.
So do you have to pay for the individual attractions that you go on then once you're inside?
Depends on how you want to do it. So we knew we weren't going to really do a bunch of rides whenever I went with them the first night. So we just bought our park ticket, which was $15 American or whatever, and then we purchased the haunted house. So you can do it individually, or you can buy a whole day ticket, which I think was $35 for the whole day for all of the attractions. They have way more food than Epcot does, though, and Epcot is
a lot of food then.
Yeah, like everywhere I turned, it was like food.
Wow.
Food. Food was delicious. I loved it. They had like a little pirate themed area, and I was like, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. Look at that. There was a little pirate ship you could go get on. So it was really cool, and I think my coworkers like made fun of me a little bit because I was nerding out and like taking pictures everywhere, and I was like, Walt was here. Walt walked right here. He walked through this. And I'm like, oh my God, this was Walt's inspiration for this ride. And they would just like stand and like wait for me.
Wait for you to geek out.
They did get me, I can't pronounce it to save my life, but they did get me like a hot wine.
Okay.
Like hot, like coffee hot.
That sounds disgusting.
It was so good. it had something else. I don't know, like candy. No, it was like almonds or something like that is like the traditional how it's supposed to be served. It was really good. I liked it.
Was it like a cider?
Like a mulled wine?
Yes, I would say.
Like a mulled
wine.
So how many attractions would you say there were? Is it like, Epcot doesn't have that many attractions either. It's mostly about the food.
Yeah.
Is it along the same lines?
Yeah, there's not a ton of attractions. There's a few shows. I mean, they had a couple roller coasters. They had the carousel, which was like, it looked exactly like the one that's in Magic Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Looks exactly like it. Yeah, it was more about walking around the gardens and the countries, and very much like Epcot. Cool. So it was really cool.
So what about the size of the park? Like how, in terms of like, can you compare it to something like one of our parks?
It's weird because it's in the middle of the city, just like smack dab in the middle of Copenhagen. And it's actually pretty small. I feel like everything is like very like stacked on top of each other there. Okay. And we got lost at one point because we're like walking in circles and we're like, oh wait, we were just here because I just saw the dragon in China. We were just in this part. Yeah, everything's very like condensed on top of each other.
I feel like that's all Disneyland is. Disneyland is very condensed, but I like that because it gives you like the feeling of like a quaint like hometown amusement park.
And it's weird, like leaving the outside of Tivoli, you don't even really notice that it's a theme park. Mm-hmm. It's just part of the city. Right. It's just like more buildings.
Like you enter through gates to get inside.
Yeah, you enter through gates. There's like a big Tivoli sign.
It's like a courtyard, like a oasis.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really like the secret garden kind of thing. Okay. It's just hidden in the middle of the city. It was really cool.
The pictures you posted just of being like in Sweden and that whole trip were so beautiful. Oh, it looked like what you see in books and like magazines and on the TV.
So in Denmark, how was the language barrier for you?
Everyone spoke English.
Right.
I tried a little bit. I was like, Guten Morgen or whatever. Guten Abend. I tried, and then I would immediately say, do you speak English? And they're all like, yeah, of course we do. Like, everyone speaks English there. So it was really easy. I walked around the city by myself. It's a very safe city. Mm-hmm. I did the hop-on, hop-off bus tour one day to go see all the castles. Okay. So I did all the castle tours. I actually saw the royal family leaving when I was at the Queen's Palace. Like her row of cars drove by and I like
Meghan
waved.
Markle?
Not Meghan Markle. The Danish
royal
family.
Country. Oh my god.
The Danish royal family.
You said the royal family in my
mind. Yeah, the Danish royal family.
There's more than just one royal family.
So I waved at the Queen as she left, but
did you like do the Queen?
I did. I did the Queen wave. We're doing the Queen wave right now, guys.
Just like wiping the window.
I did.
I still can't get over Stephanie thinks there's only one.
I was really upset.
The only one anyone ever talks about. I don't hear anything about anybody else.
Oh my gosh.
I was really upset because I couldn't visit one of the palaces because the Queen was hosting guests. I was like, does she know I'm in town?
Hello? She didn't invite you? You didn't win that giveaway?
No.
Dinner with the Queen?
I should have asked. I bet if I would have asked, it would have been fine. I would have got in.
Okay, so you mentioned to us before we started recording, and we hinted at the beginning. So you had a creepy situation / stalker in Sweden.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you look a little bit
Swedish.
You know,
blonde
you have
hair.
Blonde hair and very pale skin and blue eyes.
Maybe.
You look like you belong there.
So I took the train from Denmark to Sweden. I've never even taken the subway in the States. Oh. So I go to the train station. Everything's in another language.
And
Nothing
you're
is
by
English.
yourself.
I'm by myself. No one's with me. So I managed to buy the tickets in another language. And then I'm looking at my ticket. I'm looking at the sign. I'm looking at my ticket. I'm looking. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't read this. And there's like pickpocket signs everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
I did buy like a special anti-theft backpack before I left.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about that.
Because I want to do a review on it because I've used it twice now. It's called XD Design. But I loved it. So I'll have to...
Pro tip.
I'll have to do that I'll have to do that soon.
I voted yes when you asked.
I saw, yeah. Somebody else, I think my other answer was like, that's stupid. And
So what did you vote? Well,
stupid.
you put a vote on Instagram?
Yeah, I put a vote on my story on Instagram.
What
Do
was
you
the
give a
vote?
shit about this backpack?
Do you want me to do a review about the backpack?
I think you should do a review.
Yeah, I wanted to use it one more time to just see like what my issues with it were. And the main complaint is that it's hard to get into, but
That's
it's
the
an
point.
anti-theft backpack.
Right.
So
That's the point.
it's not really a complaint. It just, you have to like stop and like fold back the little flap and then unzip
Right.
it and then undo the pocket.
So you can't be in a hurry. Whatever you put in that compartment that's anti-theft.
Yes.
Is the whole thing anti-theft?
Yes, there are some little secret hidden easier access pockets,
Okay.
and they're like on
Pro
your
tip.
chest. They're
Pro
on your
tip.
chest.
Okay.
So it's really cool. It's
Well, yeah, do a review and then we'll
I'll do a
share.
review.
We'll share it to our story,
Yeah,
so people
'cause it
can
was pretty
click,
cool.
click through.
So there was like pickpocket signs everywhere in the train station, and so that was fun. So finally this lady walks up and she's like, "Are you lost, honey?" And I was like, "Can you tell that I'm a lost American?" Because I am. So she points me in the direction. I get on the train and I sit down and I realize like some people are looking at their tickets and then at their seats, and I'm like, shit, was I supposed to buy a seat? I don't know how this works. So I turned to the guys next to me and I'm like, "Hey guys, do you speak English?" And they answered in English. They said no. They were really nice though. I ended up talking to them the whole train ride. I was like, "Oh, thank you." They're asking all about America and Disney. And
I'm
they're
in
like,
suspense right now. I'm like,
I know.
wondering when this
there's like this whole lead up. Okay,
When's the
okay.
creep coming? Because everyone's been nice so far.
Everyone was great. Okay, so then I get to Sweden, get off the train, and taking pictures, and this guy walks up to me. He says he's French. He's like, "Hey, can you take my photo and I'll take your photo?" Absolutely cool. And he's like, "So where are we going next?" And I was like,
what?
and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna go see the castle." And he goes, "Great, we'll walk together." And I was like, "No, I'm good, thank you." He follows me. It's like a mile and a half to the castle. He follows me the whole way
Oh my god.
to the castle, right behind me. So I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I'm gonna go get food." I go get food, and he sits at the table next to me at the restaurant where I had Swedish meatballs in Sweden.
Oh, but that ruins the experience because you got this dude stalking you.
It's fine. I enjoyed my Swedish
So were they?
meatballs.
Do they taste like IKEA's?
Exactly like IKEA. And the lady's like, "They taste better than IKEA." Because I'm like, "Are these?" Because it just says meatballs and gravy, and I'm like, "So are these what Americans call Swedish meatballs?" And she's like, "Yeah, but they taste better than IKEA." And I was like, "Okay, good. They taste exactly like IKEA."
So that's a pro tip. IKEA's
Pro tip.
meatballs taste like
Legitimate.
sweet. Like I always thought IKEA's meatballs
Well,
tasted
they
decent.
say on their product of Sweden, it
Yeah.
says on
Sweden.
there.
Which we have one in Orlando. Pro tip: it's $4.99. $4.99 for the platter.
If you want to have the same experience, Kristen, then just go to the IKEA cafeteria.
Hopefully without stalkers. So anyway,
You could probably arrange to have one sit
stalker.
there and talk to you.
I'm sure.
So
okay. Did he talk to you?
He talked to
during
me.
the meal?
Yes, during the meal.
Oh my
So he's like, "What are you
gosh.
doing next?
How
You wanna
old
go
did he
tour?"
look? Was he old?
He
Or
probably looked like he was my age, like
Stephanie's
28,
next
29.
question was he hot?
I mean,
if you didn't have your boyfriend,
If Josh wasn't in the picture.
he had like a really weird like mouth nose thing going on. Like, I don't know. Like, it was like unproportional. To the rest.
you didn't snap a picture of him. You didn't ask to take a selfie.
I did.
with you?
I snapped a picture. I don't know if I have it anymore. I'll have to pull it up. I'll show
Oh my
it to you
gosh,
later.
you should have posted it to your
But
IG.
I snapped a picture and I sent it to my dad, and my dad's like,
This is who's gonna kill me.
he's like, he's really close to you because like I'm holding the phone like this, and it's like in his face.
That's so smart though to take a picture and send it to your father.
So I get done eating, and he's like, "Let's go tour the castle," and I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." So I walk outside. I want to tour the castle, but I don't want to tour this freaking weirdo. So behind the castle, there's this, it's called like Slotsa Garden or something. It's a very big public garden, and they have a nice little like garden cafe where you can
With a
have
police
coffee.
stand?
There was police out there. So I go take a picture of the windmill, and he's taking a picture of the windmill, and he's like, "Do you want to go walk through the garden?" I'm like, "No, I'm okay." So I text my friend Danielle, and I'm like, "Hey, it's like 7:30 in the States. Are you awake right now? Call me and like say that you're like ready to come pick me up or whatever." I'm just trying to think of how to get away from this guy. So she's awake. She calls me and she's like, "Hey, I'm over on the other side." And I'm like, "Oh, my friend's here. I have to go. She's waiting for me." And then he didn't follow me because like, oh shit, she has people with her. So I go into the garden and I'm like kind of winding around, and then he sees me again by myself and he's like, hi. And then I like go back into the garden. I was like going through like all the like secret garden passages, and I'm like waiting behind like a bush, and I'm like, do I hear him?
Oh my god.
So I spent like an hour out of my day in Sweden
trying to dodge
avoid
this guy.
Yeah. I got really great pictures of the garden though, guys. So so
Man,
there was
if that would have been
That's
me, I would have
crazy.
literally called an Uber and just left anything that I planned to do.
I didn't
just to
want to
get out
like
of that
miss out on
area.
Sweden though. So
That's
there
true.
were 2 cops on bicycles nearby. So I was like, okay, if I see him again, I'm just gonna go tell him that this fucking weirdo is stalking me. I didn't see him again after that. So then I enjoyed my coffee in the garden, and then I went inside the castle.
That's
which
weird.
Good thing he didn't follow me in there. Like
I saw your pictures from the castle. It was dark, right?
dark. Like nobody else was around. It was
Yeah.
really like
You did a live from there, didn't you? Didn't you? Do
I did a
Instagram
live,
live?
yeah. And it felt like a haunted house. It was super creepy. So anyways, that was the one time
That
that
is
I
so
traveled to
crazy.
Europe and had a guy follow me around for an hour.
That's so
Man.
weird.
Yeah.
Do you think he was a little like mentally slow?
No.
You think he legitimately was just?
I did say to him, and he didn't get it at all. He's like, we can go together. And I was like, no, thank you. I've seen Taken. And he just like didn't understand my reference. He was like, what? Taken? You want to take me somewhere? I'm like, never mind.
Oh my.
So that was my adventure.
But that, I mean, that's interesting.
But I survived.
Jeez.
It was fun though.
So what do you think his intention was?
Probably to kidnap me and sell me into like the sex trade industry.
Because that's a I mean, it's a kind of, we
That-
laugh about it, but
But like that was legitimately my fear.
Mhm.
So I called my boyfriend afterwards to tell him some creepy guy was stalking me, and I'm like, just talk to me in case somebody grabs me, and like take down the details in case you hear me screaming. This is where I'm at.
yeah, I think that that's something, and that's might be something that we talk about in the future on this podcast, because I think it brings up a good thing. Like, what do you do in that type of situation? Because it's a real situation, and it doesn't just happen in a foreign country. It can happen to you here in the United States.
Yeah.
So I think that that's maybe something important that we talk about in the future, and we make that a topic, because it can be a serious thing. I think you handled it really well.
I think I probably should have immediately just gone to the police.
I think you should have too.
But you know how you're like maybe I'm just
You don't want to make a scene. Or
yeah,
maybe
maybe I'm overreacting, but that's always the problem, right? Is everyone's always like, I don't want to make a scene, I don't want to overreact. I think if I were put in this situation again, I would have immediately walked up to them and been like, can you tell this guy to
Because
leave
in
me alone?
any instance where someone tells you no, that's when you have to back away.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to meet up with people, like if you're traveling alone and you see somebody who's open to sharing the day with you possibly, but if they're telling you like no, then you have to accept that as a no.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was interesting.
Very interesting.
But I'm okay. It turned out okay. I will say I don't get anxiety traveling, but trying to figure out the train station in another language in another country.
Remember when you were in
That can be
Paris and they
difficult.
told you you're not allowed to dance?
Oh my gosh. No, this. Well, I was headed from Paris proper to where Disneyland Paris is, so I was taking the train out to Disneyland Paris, and on the platform there's a sign telling
Pictures.
you not to like flail your arms over the track.
But it was like
because you could lose a limb, but
Oh
it
my
looked
gosh.
like it was the person
guy
was
dancing.
It was
Oh my gosh.
they were making it, I think, a little bit funny just so you would pay attention and
That's
like
funny.
think about it. But I would have to, in Paris, everything was pretty much like the ticket booths and everything. They had English, so you could select English as your language if you wanted to use English to purchase tickets and
See,
things.
everything was written in, and then it was 2 different languages, like Danish and then Swedish on the other side.
Oh, okay.
Which is-
I'm surprised with those countries that speak English so much in those countries, because those countries speak a lot of English,
Yeah.
so they wouldn't be in English as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, my experience with Paris was that everything on the ticket system to get the
That's
tickets,
good.
and in Paris, I was surprised with how many people spoke English, because it was much more than I thought it was.
I feel like that's most of Europe, though. I feel
Yeah.
like most of them speak it.
I think so too.
But 99.999% of people were very helpful, very nice,
And not stalking you.
and not stalking me. Yeah.
But no, that's a serious situation, and you have to kind of for everyone listening, you kind of have to, if you're going to be traveling alone, you have to be really
Always be aware.
Yes.
Really aware. And even if you're traveling just domestically here in the U.S., you need to be really aware,
Keep your
because
headphones out of your ears and you need to be aware
people
of your
can
surroundings.
spot a tourist from very far away.
Well, that's why pickpocketers are so big in like the train stations, because they know you're distracted.
You have luggage on you. You're trying to carry everything, and you're distracted.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but there's actually been pickpocketing cases in Disney Springs because people are there with tons of money and they're distracted by all the stuff. So it can even happen here in the most magical place.
Pro tip.
Get
Watch
the
your money.
XD design backpack.
Okay, so there's a few more things. We want to wish Crystal a very happy birthday. By the time this airs, her birthday is going to be past.
21.
She is 21.
Yeah, I'm legal to drink now.
Yeah, after that night at Barrel Night, she's finally
and the hot
legal.
chocolate flights.
And then we want to give a huge shout out to Crystal's mother and stepfather.
Hey, Angie.
Hey, Angie. Hey, Dale.
So do they come you said your dad's going to be visiting, but are they going to be coming down for the holidays?
I'm going to be going to see them for the holidays. So I'm going to Atlanta for Christmas to see them.
That's where they live, Atlanta?
Yep.
Nice.
I want to see Ludacris. And we need to see Heather. And we need to go to the Claremont Lounge. You should ask your mom, Angie, to take you to the Claremont Lounge.
That's where strippers go to die.
Yes.
They have a lady that can crush beer cans with her titties.
I want to go.
There is one lady who's apparently she just turned 90 that's still working.
Have you been?
I've never been. I've been to a bunch of the others in the area.
She's 90 and still working?
Still working.
Still working that pole, girl.
Yeah.
We gotta go.
They call it where strippers go to die and then home of the C-section.
Oh my gosh.
I think you should make it a point to go.
Are
Angie and Dale down for that kind of thing?
They are 100% down for that thing.
Yes!
Yes.
Steph's going to come with you.
Do you ever take the mega bus up to Atlanta to see them?
No. I've had my friend Jackie has taken it from Atlanta to Orlando and then from New Orleans to Orlando.
It's nice. It's a nice option if you just want to go for a day or two.
Yeah, it's so cheap.
I mean, I wouldn't call it nice. I would say that it is an affordable option.
It's affordable.
So, creepy stalker guys. Best friend Jackie took the megabus, and I go to pick her up at the Orlando location. And there's a guy who will not stop talking to her, and I'm like, get in the car, come on. And we just like backed up, because the guy's still trying to talk as she getting in the car.
What?
So I'm like backing up, and the guy's still standing there, and I'm like, we gotta go, okay? We gotta go. So then I dropped her off, and I was like, bye, and I just pulled away.
Bye!
Wow.
Yeah, there is. It's a really seedy crowd of people that.
But it's a
frequent.
cheap option.
That's why.
It's a very affordable option. I did
Because
it.
you can get tickets for $1.
But between here and Atlanta, it's nice because you can take it really late. Like you can get on it at like midnight and then be in Atlanta at like 8 a.m. So
and it's double decker, so you can ride up top.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I just didn't think the seats were very comfortable.
No, they're not. But
if you book early enough, $1 tickets.
Yeah.
$1. Pro tip.
$1 holler. Pro tip.
Pro tip. And you can get reserved seats. I got a reserved seat.
Yeah, you can sit like right up next to the driver.
But I think mostly I would like to just buy 2 seats because I wouldn't want a stinky, weird
I took Greyhound.
stalker stranger sitting by
I was
me.
so lucky from here to Miami when I was going to Europe, because I flew out of Miami to get to Europe. I had an empty seat next to me.
Oh, nice.
Thankfully.
Nice.
So that was nice. But anyway, once again, shout out to Angie and Dale. I hope you have a fun holiday with them. When are you going for Christmas proper? You don't have to give dates, but are you going for Christmas?
So I'm going to Vegas, and I fly back, and I'm home for a day, and then I go there the Friday before Christmas.
You are just all over the place.
I literally just want to sleep for 2 weeks.
Well, Crystal, thank you so much for coming. It's always good to have you, and I'm sure we'll have you again. And we need to have Josh.
Yes, I'll make Josh come, and he can give us beard tips.
All right, guys. Until next time, follow us on Instagram at Orlando Out of Context, and make sure you follow Crystal as well. She is on Instagram at Caught Up with Crystal.
Correct.
Then visit us at OrlandoOutOfContext.com. You don't have a website right now, do you?
Facebook.
Just
it's the same thing. Caught Up with Crystal.
And then listen and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. Make sure you listen to Crystal's first episode, which was episode 16. And we recorded live from the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so until next time, we will see you around. Bye. Crystal.
Bye.
Thank you.
Nobody ever wants to say bye with us.
I know, we gotta prep them next time.
I know.
Sorry, Ma. Do you know, I don't know if we told you the story how we call each other Ma and Pa. Did we tell you that?
She's like, no.
No, I can see it though.
Our whole friendship, we've called each other Ma and Pa. Because I don't know how it started. I think it started on the road trip here. Because when I moved from California to here permanently, who was it? Jen that created it? Who created it? Because we were on the road trip and we were acting like a ma and a pa. I think maybe Jen might have said it. You guys are like acting like a ma and pa.
We
or
have
something.
old souls.
Oh.
So we just always treat each other like we're old Bettys or an old married couple. So.
That's so funny.
From the beginning of our relationship, so that's why we call each other
we were
Ma
like
and Pa.
21.
Yeah, we're early 20s and we call each
So,
other
like,
Ma
2
and
years
Pa.
ago?
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
We look like we're in our early 20s, right?
Me too.
You too.
Yeah.
All right.